it is not just a piece of dream and a view of Lake Solai and the quiet place. It is also a place where we dream to bring from Israel, where we based from, where we came from, 15 years ago to Kenya. We want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager. So in Israel we have a school that's called Land and Earth, and we want to open here another branch of the school for Kenyan people. So we want that the Kenyan people will come to visit Israel, and Israeli will come to visit here. So we will create a community of knowledge, information, and friends between Israel country and Kenya country.
Kenya loves Israel. Israel. Now, one.
Kenyans love Israel, and this is how Kenya is going to be in a decades to come. You do not ask the Palestinians. You see, this video here shows the arrival of the Jewish refugees in Palestine, and this is how Palestine look like today. They have zero rights in their own countries. They cannot live there. They were being uprooted from their homes. They are scattered everywhere in the world. The Kenyan government didn't learn from the history, the slavery, the colonization, where the British murdered Kenyan people left and right. Men, women, and children were enslaved, you know. Kenyan government didn't learn anything. Today in 2026, Kenyan government is saying that they are going to sell lands to the Israelis. And in this video here, you can see this Israeli guy saying that, you know, they are going to build a school there. You see, in this remote area, I mean, it is a special area where they can control, bringing some Kenyan citizens to those schools to brainwash them. Those people will now become the real enemies of Africa, as we have been seeing it throughout the history. Some Africans were being taught by these people specially. They pump money to them to destroy their own countries, and that is what will happen. So why do you think that Kenyan president is selling Kenya to the higher bidder? Time for the Kenyan people to react. Selling lands in Kenya to the Israelis. You guys didn't learn anything from the British history. We didn't learn anything where our people were being put in concentration camps. And in 2026, African leaders are repeating the same shit again. But if you are a Kenyan, send this thing to those politicians who are supporting William Ruto in Kenya, please.
Are you guys familiar with the story of the Trojan horse? One of the warring factions could not get into the other's city because it was well fortified. What do? They created a wooden horse, they put their army inside, and then waliipeleka kwa the city and then presented it as a gift. Now the city accepted that gift, not knowing that wameingiza the army of the opposing side. Now, this is exactly what is happening. Because we're busy accepting Israeli settlements, yet this is what they want for Africa. And let us not forget that the Prime Minister of Israel said that when they're done with the Middle East, they will come to liberate Africa. How does that liberation look like based on the things that we're seeing in Palestine? And let's not forget that the same Israelis were welcomed into Palestine about 75 years ago. And right now they're saying that Palestine is Israel. And let us not forget that this is the position of your government. And last year we also changed some of our land laws. If you guys can remember the 8 bills that were assented to by the president last year. Another reason they want these communities in Africa and they want our youth to interact with their youth is to legitimize the state of Israel, because in this current age, we know that Israel is Palestine. But if there's this constant interaction between these two groups, in the future, history will be whitewashed. History will be skewed to match what Israel wants. Imagine a people who are colonized are busy helping a colonizing force in their colonization efforts. We might just be Africa's Trojan horse. Until the next video, peace.
Wale watu wenye flag yao ni white na black, they want Kenya and they have started occupying Kenya. Now, in 2018, kulikuwa na dam fulani ilipasuka kwa Salai na ika-affect watu wengi, ika-displace so many families. Now, our families after wamekuwa displaced, na our watu wenye flag yao ni ya blue na white, wanasemanga wako chosen, they went and bought that land at a very cheap price. Now, by then, hawako wamefikisha 5,000 acres. Currently, as we're speaking, they're at 10,000 acres. Now, they're also making another deal with the current government to own more land uko northeastern. Now, uko northeastern na pia huku Rift Valley, hapo area Naivasha, Nakuru, they also want to own land there. Now, they want to have an estate, a kind of independent country uko Naivasha, uko Nakuru, yenye itakuwa purely ya Jews. Now, the northeastern part, they wanted to do farming, and our government is giving them. Aye! Do you know, penye wana occupy sahi uko Middle East, kulikuwa kunaitwa Palestine kitambo. Now, in 1948, vile walipewa iyo land, I have done a video of how walipewa iyo land na the British Empire. Now, vile walipewa land huko, walienda wakadisplace Palestinians. So, naona Palestine ikakuwa this side, na wao wakakuwa the other side. You can see what they have done to Palestine years later. Why would we allow them to come to our land? Mi kuna mtu alisema hata heri wafungue boda za Somalia, lakini hao watu wasikubali kuingia huku. And I agree with that tweet. Those people, if you know history, if you know what is happening to the world right now, those people should be nowhere near us. They should be nowhere near Mount Kirinyaga. They should be nowhere near us.
Guys, have you noticed how this whole affordable housing thing is being pushed on Kenyans? Even people like Oparanya are telling you to leave your rural home.
Sasa mjue ya kwamba haya manyumba ni yenu. Msifikirie haya manyumba ni ya watu wa Nairobi. Hii ni affordable housing ambayo nyinyi mnaweza kujipanga na kununua hizi nyumba kwa bei ile ya chini, unalipa polepole. Tunataka nyinyi muje muishi kwa hizi manyumba. Mwache yale mashamba kule nyumbani, tupande mimea ya kusaidia watu wetu. Usilie kaburi hii ni ya mama, kaburi hii ni ya baba. Wewe saa mtoto, uite mama yako, uite baba yako, ndio mkumbuke hapo. Hapana mpaka uwe unakaa hapo, unaona kaburi yake, ndio unamkumbuka. Kwa hivyo Kenya inaendelea mbele, na rais ameona mbele, kuona ya kwamba inji kuendelea mbele paka uanze na hatua moja. Na hii ni hatua moja ya kuendelesha Kenya yetu kuwa inji ambayo inaendelea mbele. Huu mradi unapeana kazi kwa vijana wetu, pia wale ambao wanahusika, wale wanaleta mchanga hapa, wale wanaleta mawe, wale wanajenga hapa. Hiyo ndio kufanya inji ikue kwa haraka, na hilo ndio lengo naona rais tayari.
If history had turned left instead of turning right, there would be a mini Israel in parts of Kenya and Uganda. In early 1903, Britain's colonial secretary Joseph Chamberlain met with Theodore Herzl, the founding father of Zionism. In the meeting, Britain offered Zionists massive land in present-day Kenya and Uganda. The land was 7 times the size of Mauritius. It was even bigger than present-day Israel. This African land was to be a Jewish colony or settlement, a safe haven for Jews, essentially a mini-Israel that would be occupied by Jews until the Zionist dream of a homeland in Palestine could be realized. On August 26, 1903, during the 6th Zionist Congress, Theodore Herzl presented this proposal to the delegates. Delegates voted 295 to 178 to send an investigatory commission to check out the territory. They traveled to East Africa and reported their findings 1 year later during the 7th Zionist Congress. The scheme was voted down. If they had voted yes, the very outlook of East Africa would have been radically different today. Evidently, Britain carved out huge parts of Africa, creating national borders at will and whim. The world is still paying the price for this unbridled power.